If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Attack the Baseline, a WNBA podcast where every episode we attack our baseline knowledge of the WNBA, and it feels like we're recording every single day because the WNBA has been popping off with news. Today, of all days, Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun was moved across the country to Phoenix in a major trade. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to preview week 3 of Unrivaled. But before we get into all the fun stuff, Kristen, how's it going?
Hello. Going good. I know. I feel like we're just busting these out. Mm-hmm. And who knows when it's going to stop, because free agency is upon us at the end of this week.
Yep.
But hopefully it's like more stuff all at once, so we can talk about multiple trades at one time.
It almost definitely will be. Free agency in basketball tends to be a lot up front, and then it just goes dead again. So, I'm happy to have these, a couple days before all the signings, because when there's, 50 free agents to sign, we're going to have to sift through all the lists to figure out, oh, man, this team is this now, and this team is this now. Mm-hmm. At least we can work off what bits and pieces we have. Mm-hmm. So, as we said, that's what we're going to get into today. If you would like to reach out to us and let us know your thoughts on this big trade, or your thoughts on the Jewel Lloyd trade that we talked about in our last emergency pod, you could do so at our email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com, or connect with us on social media, on our Twitter, on our Bluesky, on our Instagram at ATBPod _. We're there. We're hanging out, talking about games. I've been talking a lot about Unrivaled on the Bluesky account. That's been really fun. A lot of people are loving that. So check us out there. That's where we're probably the most active. But For sure. So, first things first. Alyssa Thomas traded. Terms of the trade. The Phoenix Mercury will receive Alyssa Thomas and Ty Harris from the Connecticut Sun in return for Natasha Cloud, Rebecca Allen, and the 12th overall pick in the upcoming draft, which was the Phoenix pick that they got via New York in a trade from 2023. Way back when. Mm-hmm. So, immediate thoughts on either side.
Well, I mean, for me, this just came out of nowhere. We were expecting the Jewel Lloyd trade.
Correct.
We knew that something was going to happen.
Because she requested it.
Right. But this, I was like, whoa. Yes. In the middle of the day today. Mm-hmm. Unexpected. Mm-hmm. I think people agreed that it didn't seem like Alyssa Thomas wanted to stay in Connecticut.
Right.
So, there were rumblings. Mm-hmm. But I think it's great for Phoenix. Yesterday, I was when I was just, thinking about how, the rosters are looking for next year. BG is considering free agency. We're not sure about Diana Taurasi. I was thinking, like, man, Phoenix is going to potentially be, like, kind of depressing, really sad. Probably will take a big step back.
Right.
They'll just be one of those teams that doesn't make the playoffs.
Not going to be the case now.
Not true. Yeah, with Alyssa Thomas, I mean, that's a huge building block, and I don't see them stopping with Alyssa Thomas.
Right. Now she becomes your central figure. Obviously, Kalia Copper, they have under contract. You can start your team off of Alyssa Thomas and Ka, and then decide how you want to go from there. Maybe they bring back BG, who's just testing free agency. Hasn't said that she's not going to come back to Phoenix, just says, I want to go see where else I can get. She's been courted in the past. It's fair to be wanting to do that. But maybe now she finds it more attractive to stay.
Right.
Obviously, the Dewana Bonner of it all, you would think she would be joining Alyssa Thomas. But
she's an unrestricted free agent.
Correct.
So that is very possible.
Correct. And, what does a contract for Dewana look like? Who's to say? But I do think having your core be Alyssa Thomas and Ka, and then having, some peripheral pieces, your Sophies, Ty Harris is a pretty good player, Natasha Mack. Like, there's some decent depth and a good core up front. I think they're going to be a very attractive destination. It's a very strong fan base. So, who knows? And
the X Factor.
The X Factor.
Is the fan base.
That is what they are called. Correct.
Just remembered.
Yeah. Yes. There were even like breaking news, rumors that Satu is discussing with Phoenix. So, like, theoretically, Satu could go there, except I don't really know how that would work because now there's nothing else to really trade, and you have to trade for Satu. So I don't really think that's a possibility.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're trading Ka, but, like, why are you going to do that?
Right, you're going to completely scrap your entire team.
And go Alyssa Thomas and Satu.
Alyssa Thomas, Satu, Dewana would be your whole team.
Yeah, I don't think that this is the place for Satu Sabli. I know we're not really talking about that, but just a rumor that was interesting doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, no.
But I like the fit of Alyssa Thomas and Ka. I think they can play off of each other pretty well. I think Alyssa Thomas is going to slot in as their primary initiator on offense. She's a very gifted passer. She's a strong post player. She has all the things that are going to make them better at defense, which they weren't particularly great at last year. It's really going to transform the whole team.
Yes.
They're going to be a whole new identity. And, as the engine, as we know what Alyssa Thomas is called, I think she is the perfect piece to build a team around. What are they going to do with the rest of the room? We'll see. I'd be worried if they went too big on, like, 4 contracts and then just don't have any depth. Because, you look at what happened in Connecticut when it was just Alyssa, Dewana, and Bree Jones, they were lacking significantly in depth. They traded for Marina. Marina was helpful. But then, you got to, like, the 6th or 7th person on the bench, and there just wasn't anybody there. So, important for Phoenix to get that right.
So, assuming Dewana comes there.
That's the only assumption that I think is fair to make, for sure.
Yeah. Or she retires or something. I don't know.
You're right. Could be an option.
Then they're like, how much room really is there left for BG and for Diana Taurasi?
Because we believe Diana Taurasi's not done.
She better not be done.
I know. We want to hit bingo. But it's just the radio silence on Diana is so weird. It's so weird to announce, I'm going to retire for sure now.
This late,
right. As we're about to start the season. Like, obviously we don't know about, like, what she's doing to stay fit, or if not, like, if she's training, then she's probably going to come back. But, like, I don't know. I think she could accept to being a bench guard, or she could start again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's not going to be that offensive initiator like she has been for as long as she's been in Phoenix. It is going to be Alyssa Thomas's job. So Phoenix, whole new world. Chris, our friend, our Phoenix Mercury friend, is stoked. He said, the Mercury are back. And he's like, come on, Dewana, come on home. It's time to roll.
Yes.
So, can they move up from the 7th spot where they ended the season? And can they make it out of the first round of the playoffs? I would believe in Alyssa Thomas more than most players.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, I always appreciated Alyssa Thomas, but I think I was lower on the Sun in general. So I didn't fully, value her as much.
Yeah.
Now that she's on my team of the Laces, I'm like the biggest Alyssa Thomas stan right now.
She's awesome.
She's incredible.
Right.
I can't with her. I need, I did say I want a Kayla McBride Laces jersey. I don't know. Maybe I want an Alyssa Thomas. We'll see.
It's cool to have her on the team.
So should we talk about the Connecticut side?
Yes, let's talk about the Connecticut side. Tosh Cloud, Rebecca Allen, and a first-round pick in the upcoming draft. Obviously, we don't really know about who's going to be available in the 12th pick of this draft.
Right. This is an acceptable place to say, we're not sure who's going to be available at this pick.
Correct.
So we'll trade it.
Because there's any number of college players that could just stay in, or people that could fall, international players. Who knows? Who knows what Connecticut really wants to do? Because at the end of the day, you're probably triggering a rebuild.
Yeah.
If you're trading Alyssa Thomas. Natasha Cloud, I feel like, is a 1-year stopgap. And maybe they decide to center a team around Natasha Cloud. You could, conceptually, you could bring back Bree Jones, maybe, and do the two of them.
With Marina, I don't think it's horrible.
Yeah, and right, and Marina is there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be fun to see that whenever Marina comes back from injury, she'll get to do a little playing time with Natasha Cloud on the Phantom. I think that's a nice little story.
Yes.
For them before they play together in Connecticut. They get to build up a chemistry. But yeah, Natasha Cloud will just be your point guard. And Dejanay.
Yeah.
Dejanay is your 2. Marina playing the 3. Question mark. And question mark. I don't know.
They kind of have to bring back Bree Jones at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the table. It's on the table. They can compete. They could compete for one more year if they want to. But I would be surprised if, Cloud isn't trying to play the free agency field at the end of this season. With the new CBA and all that good stuff. Who's to say?
I kind of feel bad for the new Connecticut coach. That kind of sucks. If you're
Mazian?
He was a really good international coach. And you're signing on to be the coach of a team that you think is has Alyssa Thomas.
Yeah.
And is very good.
Emma Mieseman, come on over.
And then you're kind of just screwed.
We said Bree Jones. Now that you think about it, Emma Mieseman filling that spot.
Yeah.
Would be pretty solid. They could be much better than expected.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Dejanay was the most improved player in the WNBA.
Yeah, and I think she'll be even better next year.
Yeah, so I know people are saying, and we already said that it's signaling rebuild to us, but, the more that I think about it immediately, maybe not. If they are a top 5 team.
Well, I don't think it makes them, automatically down at the bottom. I think it just totally changes what the team does.
Right.
Before, with Dewana and Alyssa Thomas, they were slow and methodical and, passed the ball and shared the ball.
Yeah.
With, a new team of faster, younger, smaller people.
Yeah. They could be.
They'll
different. Also be a very different team.
Yeah,
very different pace. And Natasha Cloud showed in the playoffs last year that she's capable of dropping 30 plus.
Natasha Cloud goes hard.
She does, and it's easy to tell watching her in Unrivaled how upset she is that the Phantom are not quite as good of a team as they may have hoped they were. But yeah, she's at least a committed player. She's a good player. And, now that she's there, who knows? Who knows? Ultimately, I think this is a win for the Mercury and a to be determined for the Sun. It should be fun either way for both teams to see just new situations in both cities. Is cool, because this is when it was announced that Alyssa Thomas was being traded. We were talking to friend of the pod Laura and friend of the pod Elizabeth, and they were both saying, well, I don't think they're going to trade Tosh. I don't think they're going to trade Tosh. And they traded Tosh. So, we were kind of thinking, oh, it's going to be Tosh there too. But now...
Which maybe we should have been thinking about more, because we talked about previously the tensions between Natasha Cloud and Sophie Cunningham.
Right.
So.
Now they're separated. So here's to another exciting trade in the WNBA. There's certainly at least one Satu move to go. I think that's the last big trade shoe to drop before the season gets started. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. And then, of course, all the good free agency stuff and where the big contracts go. But we're going to very soon know who the best teams are and who the likely worst teams are, just based on these signings. And all these things influence all these contracts.
Well, it's hard for me right now to see who the bad teams are going to be. Obviously, the teams that haven't really done much yet, like the Dream and the Mystics, fine.
Yeah.
But I'm oh, the Sparks are going to be good. Oh, the Mercury are going to be good. Oh, the Storm will still be good. Oh, I feel like every team is going to be good.
This is how you have a situation where you think that Minnesota is not going to make the playoffs because every team seems to be good. But now we know, based on experience, that Minnesota is clearly great because Nafisa Collier is one of the 3 best players in the WNBA. Hooty hoo. But yes, in the off season, hope springs eternal. Everybody can be the best team in the league until we watch them play and they are not as good as we think they are. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But more building blocks. Exciting stuff. Breaking news. We have a huge signing as we're editing the podcast. Brittney Griner has agreed to terms with the Atlanta Dream to be their new center.
New center? I don't know. Don't say that.
I mean, she's a center. She's not going to play any other position.
Someone else there is a center too.
And what's her name?
Tina Charles.
She's kind of more of a forward.
I'm pretty sure it says center on her thing.
But anyway, literally sitting here, just listening back to our show where we talked about this Alyssa Thomas trade, and here we are, blessed with more WNBA news. It's so nice that we don't have to record another podcast.
Yeah, I know. Tomorrow and whatever. Okay.
What? Tina Charles is considered a...
Oh, well, I'm looking.
Oh, okay. What are you looking at?
I was just going to talk about this trade.
It's not a trade.
Signing, whatever. Tina Charles, center.
Okay.
Why don't you trust me? I know Tina.
You do know Tina. You do know Tina. Yes, I was mistakenly thinking about her as more of a power forward. But yeah, theoretically, the new look Atlanta Dream could be our partners in Aura Crime, Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray, plus Brittney Griner, plus maybe the return of Tina Charles.
Yeah.
This means no more Cheyenne Parker-Tyus. She will not be re-signed with the Dream. The Dream, who are the 8th seed in this year's playoffs, are signaling that they would like to compete still. They don't just want to fall back. Every single WNBA team seems to be trying to load up
so I really
to be competitive.
Just said in this podcast earlier that the Dream haven't done anything.
You literally did.
So here we are.
Here we are.
Well, Brittney Griner has spent 11 years in Phoenix.
Her whole
her
career.
entire career. 10-time All-Star. This is the biggest free agent signing in Atlanta Dream history.
Only 1 year.
Of course. It's not going to be anything more than that for anyone else. So it also begins looking at the Mercury, back at the Mercury. This is just a Mercury podcast.
Correct.
So, that starts a new era for the Mercury without BG.
Yes.
That helps sign DeWanna Bonner. Absolutely. And I think helps me clear in my mind a little space for, so maybe you can bring back Diana Taurasi and now just have DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas without BG. That helps me contextualize this more, for sure.
But you need a center. You can't make Alyssa Thomas small ball center, point center situation.
Some things I've read said that she could do that, and I don't know if she wants to do that. She did have to do that in 2023 when Brianna Jones got hurt, so there was no more center on the Sun. So she did play center at that time. But I do agree with you that they need someone.
Yeah, no, we're currently watching Sixers Lakers. It's halftime. Candace Parker is at the table. I would really like to hear what Candace Parker thinks about the news. I'm sure she found out. I doubt they're talking about it, but it would be pretty solid to hear her reaction. Just off the top of my head. Cheyenne Parker ties, you could go there. You could go to Phoenix. Bree Jones could go to Phoenix still now to be that center spot.
That I don't want it.
They've played together. They know how to play together. I was kind of hoping to see Alyssa Thomas and BG together, if I'm being honest, but good for BG to go out and get a bag and just, next year reset. Maybe she goes back to Phoenix after next year. Who the heck knows?
Natasha Howard is an unrestricted free agent.
Could be an option.
Mercedes Russell is an unrestricted free agent. They have options.
There are a couple options. But all we know is Atlanta got a little bit better today too. And
if they don't keep Tina, what do you think?
I don't think they need to keep Tina Charles.
Well, no, they don't need to.
I think if Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray shoot better in the regular season, they could be a very dangerous team. That's how I feel about it. I think they are the most important players on the team. That is who they've buoyed their team around. And Tina a little bit.
A little. Like, I'm fighting over here for Tina.
Yeah, I get it. But BG can score a lot of points on a certain day. And I think she should be able to play with both of them. So, Jordan Canada too. I don't know. I don't think that Atlanta is like wildly better. I don't think Atlanta is a top 6 team. But maybe they're a better 7 seed than they were last year. All this to being said, congratulations, Brittney Griner.
It appears Las Vegas was interested in signing Brittney Griner.
Okay. That's more news coming out.
But after acquiring Jewel Lloyd...
Can't really do that.
They did not. They turned their attention to Cheyenne Parker Tyus.
And you got to re-sign Tip Hayes and AC.
We should just be on a live reacting to all of this.
Well, we
can't keep adding stuff.
No. That's all I have to say. Do you have anything else to say about Brittney Griner? Congratulations,
Good
BG.
for BG. I guess she's getting more money in Atlanta than she would have in Phoenix, is what it seems to be. So good for you, BG.
This offseason continues to give us great stuff, and the mercenary WNBA season, because of the new upcoming CBA, continues to be exciting. So
okay, stay tuned for Unrivaled.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or skins, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skins uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
So let's move on to talk about Unrivaled. We had 6 games this past week. It was an exciting week for both our Laces and our Owls, who remain undefeated at 4-4. And a couple teams got their first win, the Rose and the Phantom. But there's a team that remains winless, the Mist Basketball Club. We have a new player in the league, so we kind of have a lot to talk about. So let's just start right at the top. So,
well, first, John, you just mentioned Nafisa Collier.
Yes.
Being one of the top 3 best players in the W. Mm-hmm. Well, she's for sure the best player in Unrivaled.
I know that's right.
Currently leading the league in points per game, rebounds per game, defensive rebounds per game, and blocks per game.
She's a cheat code. I was so confident that she was going to be so good in this format. And today it was announced that the one-on-one tournament voting will begin. So if you're locked in on Unrivaled, you can vote for who you think is going to win the one-on-one tournament that was just announced. Mm-hmm. That will take place on February 10th. That's the first day of it.
Yeah.
But your vote influences the bracket. So if you're listening to this and you're like really hitching your wagon on a certain player, go out and vote for them, because I don't know for sure how it's going to work, but there are at least 2 buys and there's 30 players competing in the tournament. If you want your player to win, I think you give them a better shot if you vote for them. I think that's how it's going to work. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to be seeding based on popularity almost.
Right.
So do keep that in mind. If you're an active Unrivaled fan, go and, stump for your person.
Or, yeah, you just want to vote for your faves.
Are you going to place a vote on Thursday?
Of course. I always vote.
You going to reveal it?
Period.
Yes, always vote.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I have to kind of see how they do it, because don't you think, probably at this point, 50% of people are just going to vote for Nafisa Collier? So how are they going to, do that?
Which is why I won't be voting for Nafisa Collier, even though I do believe that she will win it.
That's shocking.
I'm going to go influence the bracket in another way by voting for Ryan Howard.
Okay.
But there's that. Could also vote for Alicia Gray.
Maybe I'll vote for Kayla McBride. I think I'm going to vote for her.
Also very good.
No, I have to see, because I'm kind of thinking that how they should do it, and I saw one graphic, but I can't find where this came from, but it makes sense to me, is I feel like they might randomly put people in quadrants, and then you vote it within the quadrant.
Okay, so there could be some sorting done before the Thursday voting starts.
You can't just vote one person out of 30. It's not...
I mean, you could.
That's not going to work.
You could.
You could.
Somebody's not getting a vote?
Yeah.
Probably.
But, so yeah, there's 30 players playing in the 1v1 tournament.
Yes. And the players we know that are not competing in the 1v1 tournament are Stephanie Dolson of the Laces.
Sad.
Kind of surprising, but maybe she's like, I don't need to do this. I'm Big Mama. On the Phantom, Sabrina and BG.
Sabrina might still be kind of hurt. Like
She also could probably not be bothered. She was not around for 2 of her games this week with
she had
prior
previous
engagements.
No, you see her like holding her hand a lot. Like I think she's still like recovering.
Courtney Vandersloot.
Well, BG, I don't think that's necessarily BG's. Unless she's dunking every time. I don't know.
No. Yeah, I think BG would get worked pretty solidly in a 1v1 tournament. Courtney Vandersloot of the Mist, sitting it out. This one was surprising to me. Angel Reese, not competing. Guess is, I don't know if she's like nervous about her handles. Feels like she could just get her pocket picked. Obviously, Cam's not participating.
Okay, I was just going through the rosters.
No, it's
just
funny. I guess. Like, obviously, she was never going to compete. Because she's never competing.
Okay.
And, those are the 6. Every single member. So, every team is sitting at least one person in this 1v1 tournament, except for the final. Everybody's playing. So, that's all we really know right now. It's a 3-night affair. I think it's the 10th, the 11th, and like the 14th is when the final is. So, it's going to be a neat little bracket situation. But should be fun. But again, that's our midpoint in the season. So why don't we bring it back? Talk about week 2.
Okay.
Top of the week, we had two defeated teams, both of them that were searching for their first win in the Mist versus the Phantom. And I thought this was a pretty fun game. We got to see Satu get going, even though she fouled out. We saw BG get hurt and leave the game twice, but come back and hit the game winner, which was pretty solid. And we saw a Mist team that was down Dejanay and Jewel Lloyd and had to bring in Nalissa Smith because they probably just looked at Dejanay and said, Nalissa, can you play basketball for us, please? And Nalissa played like 4 minutes. Hasn't played since. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty competitive game between the two teams that are looking for their first win. And the Phantom came out on top, 74-69.
Yeah. What did you say, Natasha Heidemann?
Well, Natasha Heidemann was there too, but she was already announced from week 1.
Okay.
But yeah, she had a lot of playing time this week for the Phantom.
This week, yeah. This game, she only played 6 minutes, but had 4 points, had 3 assists. She's like being a solid.
She played a lot more in their second game this week when they got rocked.
Yeah.
And now she's on the Laces. So fun thing, Natasha Heidemann can be reassigned because she's the emergency player. And we were wondering how that was going to work. And in midweek, we said, she's shifting to the Laces because, spoiler alert, for game 2, Alyssa Thomas gets hurt. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay, well, I think we have to keep checking in with Brianna Stewart throughout this.
Yes.
Because I do think it's surprising that her team is, at this point, the worst team. She had 27 points in this game, 11 rebounds. So, a big double-double. Rakia Jackson had the second highest number of points on the team, 24. And everyone else had 8 or less.
Yeah. I mean, if we look, like, Aaliyah Edwards is still very much a rookie. Like, is still...
So is Rakia.
Yeah, well, yes. But, like, from a scoring perspective, Aaliyah Edwards is not expected to be anywhere near enough to score for you.
Maybe she should be, because something's not working here.
Oh, no. I fear that Courtney Vandersloot is fast and shifty and good at passing, but she's very small in this this format.
I think she had no points until the 4th quarter. Yeah.
Like, the demand for scoring is going to fall on Stewie and Rakia because they're scorers.
Yeah.
They need another scorer in...
Well, typically you have Jewel and you have Dejanay to take some of it. So it's just getting kind of rough with the injuries.
Yes. I fear that the injuries are going to make the middle of the season a little brutal. I don't think it's something that they were accounting for necessarily. Certainly something that we would never hope for. But I just want everybody to be healthy, because watching people go down hurt and grab their ankles or their knees or their back, it's just like, it's sad to watch.
Yeah.
So that was game 1. Congratulations, Phantom, for getting your first win off the big Satu game. Let's talk about game 2 on Friday. It was the Tip Hayes show. Tip was on. Tip has been on. Outside of like the first game, I've been noticing Tip playing with an incredible intensity. Maybe the most intense player in the entire league, in my opinion. Should consider that in the 1v1 tournament. But she was hot from beyond the arc. She's been really good at attacking the basket. Kate was hooping. Kate had her moments where she was looking really good. And I don't know if she's still leading the league in steals anymore, but she is still she's still a really solid player out there, which has been really cool. Really cool to see. The downside in this game was the Alyssa Thomas injury. Alyssa Thomas goes down. Unless she hurt her knee or hurt part of her leg.
We really haven't been told, which is frustrating to me.
Correct. She did not play in her second game this week. Sat out. That was what forced Natasha Heidemann to be traded to the Laces in an emergency move. I really hope she's okay. She's been on the bench, so we've seen her. But that was kind of the biggest thing at this game. It was a tight game. Laces won 83-79 because the Vinyl are still a really good team. But De'Erica got into foul trouble, and near the end of the game, that was kind of all she wrote for that Vinyl club, who are starting to play really well together. I think every single one of the Vinyl players had double-digit, outside of Aaliyah Boston. But 5 of your players being able to score double-digit points, they're a really good team.
The Laces, all of them are averaging double points.
The Laces are undefeated for a reason. We look at game 1 on Saturday, Miss versus Rose. This was another big show for a player that we hadn't seen a lot of. Lexi Hull comes out and goes absolutely psycho, absolutely crazy. She was the player of the game. She scored, 19 points. She had 3 boards. She had 3 assists. She was all over the place. She was 8 of 11 shooting. She really, and she only shot 2 threes, but it was the threat of shooting the threes that was allowing her to cut so easily to the basket that it's not an easy it's an easy revelation to see, but Lexi Hull gives the Rose team so much of a different shooting look that they didn't have when they weren't playing her. And now that they're figuring out what the Lexi minutes could look like, I think they're a much more dangerous team. Even though they've only won 1 game, I think they can always make some noise. So, that was the biggest thing. Angel obviously still has some work to do, but she's figuring it out. And Chelsea's Chelsea. So, great squad. They hand the Miss their 4th loss. And
yes, Dewey had 20 points in this game.
Jewel was back, but it just wasn't enough. Melissa Smith didn't play.
Yeah, and Dejanay still didn't play. So they're just with the 5 players playing a man down. It's hard, and they're spreading. This game for the Mist was much more even in terms of people sharing stats, but still only getting 66. Is a little rough.
Brutal. Brutal. Game 2 on Saturday, we saw my Owls play the Phantom. It was another beatdown for the Phantom. They lost 82-58. And really the main story of this game was that Fee dropped 37, went sicko mode, and Alicia Gray hit 4 threes. She hit 5 threes. I was off by 1. Alicia Gray has started to play a lot better. Week 2, she had a really good week. Really could do a lot of things. And, me as an Owls fan appreciates having the reigning skills competition and 3-point shooter on my team, because I always thought Alicia Gray was good in this format, and she's proving it again and again and again, especially in this big, easy win over the Phantom.
Yeah, and I think definitely a key in this game was being able to guard Brittney Griner. Because in the Phantoms' previous game, she had 29 points, 9 rebounds. And in this game, she only had 10 points, 5 rebounds. So Fee was guarding her hard. Shakira Austin could guard her. So they have multiple players who got in BG's face and controlled her.
Yeah. And, she was dealing with that injury, even though she played, but they just need to have players to play for the Phantom. Unfortunately, it forces players, if you're really hurt, to you kind of got to get out there if you can play, which is not great. But we moved to Monday, last night. My Owls taking on the Vinyl. I was a little nervous about this game, to be honest, but Owls made it look easy again. 67-57 win. Biggest thing for me here, Aaliyah Boston had really quality minutes for the Vinyl. I feel like she's been a little quiet to start, but this was her moment of I am, another one of these players that you should take very seriously in this format. And it was very cool for me to see, but, at the end of the day.
Aaliyah
Owls.
Boston started because De'Erica Hamby had a prior commitment.
Right.
Doing something with the lawsuit she filed against the Aces.
So, the reasons that people are missing games outside of injury is pretty funny. To see DNP was excused for lawsuit stuff is, wild.
Yeah. It's
crazy. But, honestly, it was a pretty know-nothing game all around. Nobody went particularly insane.
No.
It was a, normal shooting night.
Yeah, it really came down to just field goal percentage, I think. The Owls had 11 percentage points higher in field goal percentage than the Vinyl did, so just shot the ball better.
Skylar's shooting the ball from 3 a lot better too, so the Owls are dangerous. Owls are dangerous, and they're healthy still. Unlike the Laces, as we go into the last game of the week. Laces rose. The Laces still come out on top 71-64, but it was the dawning of the Natasha Heineman era in the Laces.
Yeah.
Funny, in her video of becoming a Laces player that we watched, she said, I'm just going to be on every team. And I legitimately think that at some point, Natasha Heineman should be on every club because that would be very funny.
She's collecting the jerseys at this point.
Collect them all. That's, the only one that's going to own them all. That's actually a really, really solid thing for T.
This game was also the dawn of fouls. The dawn of whistles.
37 fouls.
Honestly, I wanted to rip my eyes out.
If you did not watch this game, and lucky you if you didn't watch this game, the fourth quarter was like pulling teeth.
Oh.
It was every play.
Literally every single play.
I was dumbfounded. I was like, what are we going to do? Tip Hayes on 3 consecutive plays for the Laces said, I'm going to go hit the game winner, drives into the lane, gets fouled, misses the free throw. Gets fouled, misses the free throw, misses the layup. It's like, oh my God, just pass to the open look. And at the and in the end, it was fine.
Well, she also pretty consecutively went down on the floor and was
grabbing her face,
acting like she's really hurt.
Please don't get hurt, Tip.
And at one point she left the game, went out to the locker room. We're like, okay, she's done. She came back, but you were like, okay, she's not going to come back in the game. And then Stephanie Dolson fouls out, and they literally don't have another player to play. So Tip has to come back in the game when she wasn't planning on it. Oh my God.
just wild stuff. Angel hit a 3 in this game.
Oh,
that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Kate was 10 feet away from her with one hand up, did not contest, just let her shoot, and she knocked it down.
So Angel fouled out.
Yeah. Let's talk about the foul situation.
Angel fouled out. Kalia Copper had 5 fouls, so 1 away from fouling out. Stephanie Dolson fouled out. Tiffany Hayes had 5 fouls.
Kate had 4 fouls.
Kate had 4.
And then, like, everybody on the Rose had at least 2 fouls. It was
a mess.
It was a mess. And it was funny because Kristen was like, oh, is this the same refs as the last game? Because they didn't call this many fouls last one. I said, yeah, I think so. Anyway, that's the experience from week 2.
Well, something I will say. In this game, for the Rose, Brittney Sykes had 18 points. When in previous games, she was, a
non-factor.
Next to nothing.
Right.
So the Rose are really, like, trying to figure out who they play for how much time. Like last time, we were saying Lexi Hall had the most touches and the most impact. Well, this time it was definitely Brittney Sykes had the most impact. So they're playing around with it, and I like that. And this is the time to be creative, be experimental. Play. You don't just have to play your 3 starters and then your 3 bench and your 3 starters. Mix it up. We're having fun. See where people can shine. And I think the Rose are doing that really well.
Yeah, I mean, 4 out of 6 teams make the final playoff bracket. So you could just be hot at the right time at the end of the season, and it's going to be valuable for the Rose to figure out what those optimal lineups are, because they're also a team that's lucky to be healthy as well. They've got 6 healthy players that I do think play pretty well together. Lexi Hull becoming more of a factor in that team. Azare showing that she can stretch the floor really well. I think the Rose are like a sneaky good team. Obviously, we only have 6 teams to look at, but like I think the Rose are better than a 1-win team. I expect the Rose to get a couple wins pretty soon, to go on like a nice little streak. Like maybe 2 out of the next 3 out of the next 4.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or skins, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skins uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge. From worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Yeah, so previewing next weekend's games, the Rose are playing the Phantom. That potentially is a win. I'm assuming
feels like a win.
Sabina will be back.
I would hope so.
I don't know, because I didn't know until that day she wasn't going to be there. So
I guess technically Marina could be back. We haven't heard an update, but she was 2 to 4 weeks. This would be the 3rd week. So
that would be interesting.
It would be interesting. I wanna see her play.
Yeah.
Maybe we could see a somewhat fully healthy Phantom team versus that Rose team.
Yeah. And then the Rose, they're also doing a rematch of this foul game against the Laces.
On Saturday.
So
yeah, Rose get the back-to-back.
Yeah.
I think it feels like they split one of those to me. I don't know if I can't pick up against the Laces because they're 4-0.
Yeah. But the Laces, we have a big showdown in our household.
Yes.
On Friday, the Laces are playing the Owls.
The battle of the undefeated team. I'm going to be honest. I feel like we're catching the Laces at the right time.
wrong time for me.
I don't think Alyssa Thomas will be back super quick. It could be proven wrong, but I don't know. It'll be a fun game. It should still be a fun game regardless.
If Alyssa Thomas isn't there, I think the Laces lose.
Yeah, because really looking at the Laces, who's going to guard Fee?
I mean, it has to be Stephanie Dolson. Kayla McBride will get in Fee's face.
Yeah.
As Lynx teammates.
That's true.
She won't let it be an easy game for Fee.
Yeah, Kayla McBride has been a top 5 player in Unrivaled. If she has a particularly hot night from 3, that could cost the Owls. So the win's still on the table for the Aces.
Let me see 3-point percentage. That's not on here.
You cannot.
These stats, man.
They're a little minimal.
They're working.
You can look at player stats.
Yeah, but what? I'm about to add up all the.
Oh no!
You can't even see.
Can't even see 3-point percentage. Okay.
Yeah, percentages aren't here. Well,
Unrivaled. If you're listening, add a couple advanced stats if you wouldn't mind.
The announcers yesterday said the Laces were leading in 3-point percentage. But I don't know how much. I don't know where the Owls are.
Well, the Owls shoot less, but Fee has been shooting well. SDS has been shooting well. Alicia's been shooting well. So they're probably upper half, I would think. But yeah, the Laces are legitimate 3-point shooting threats, which is, I think that's how you're going to beat the Owls. If you're going to beat them, you're just going to outshoot them purely. Because I don't think you're going to outmuscle them. So that's an exciting one on Friday night. Look forward to that.
We're going to be at a welcome party for a wedding.
Correct. I'll be trying to sneak it on my phone.
Yeah. It'll be fine. You can do that. It's not going to be formal, I don't think.
So that's 3 of our matchups for the weekend. The other matchup on Saturday, the 6 o'clock game, we have the Mist versus the Vinyl. Another opportunity for the Mist. They got a long break. Can they get healthy? Can Dijonay come back? Can Jewel be back in the form that she was in game 1?
Maybe.
Can Stewie continue to play that well?
Now that Jewel got her trade. Maybe she's happier now.
Yeah. Is she more focused? I don't know. I'm not picking the Mist until I see them win. Because I do like the Vinyl team. It's only a matter of time until they get one. Because there's another rematch, the Mist versus the Phantom on Monday, the first game at 7:30. I think that could be the Mist getting their first win. That feels like their first win.
Okay, well maybe that's when we're going to see Stewie
Sabrina versus Stewie.
Sabrina, which we wanted last time. Sabrina wasn't there.
And it did not happen. But that's one to look forward to. And then a rematch of another game this week.
They're all going to be rematches at this point.
Yes, but it just happened. The Owls Vinyl game that I was nervous about. We get to see that again.
Okay.
That'll be a fun matchup to be the end of our week 3 games. Unrivaled is continuing to be a good product. Really, if you are listening to this and you've gotten this far and you haven't watched Unrivaled, go watch Unrivaled. It's really fun. The product is quality. The games, especially when they're coming down to the wire, they can be really exciting. So I really encourage you, if you're not watching this, then why are you listening? Go watch more Unrivaled. It's going to be good. Free agency's around the corner. More Unrivaled. Do you got anything else?
No, sorry. I just was sending a quick work email.
She always send work emails at 8:17.
Yeah. No, I'm having a great time. I'm really excited for free agency to start. We're going to have to make a list, hopefully. I love the trades, so let's do it. I'm loving Unrivaled. We're going to the Unrivaled game.
Yes.
In 2 weekends.
Yes, look forward to that. We're going to be posting a lot on the Instagram, hopefully. Posting some pictures, posting some videos, some stories. That should be really fun. Maybe some stuff on YouTube. We'll think about it. But yes, that's going to be a blast. Can't wait to report boots on the ground for that. If you'd like to send us an email, you can do so. attackthebaseline@gmail.com. Can connect with us on our Twitter or Bluesky or Instagram at ATBPod, ATBPod_. We're there. We're hanging out. Thank you so much for listening to Attack the Baseline. It's been a blast to bring these emergency podcasts, these news-breaking podcasts to you. It's been so fun. But, Kristen, I'm looking at the baseline. What are we going to do?
Attack it.
Go attack the baseline. We'll be back next week with more fun WNBA stuff. Until then, bye.